Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. As you no doubt know, that's a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and as you can see, the front of it is a lot more majestic than the Bentley Bentayga. If I had that kind of money for an SUV, I would have one of those instead of the Bentley, as it looks more impressive on the road. Anyway, I've been watching a channel on YouTube called Manosphere Highlights Daily. It's done by an African American guy, and it's an educational aspect for guys on the same thread as what Sandman does, but he's more specific in various topics than Sandman, and one of them I was watching last night is the subject of this video, namely paternity tests in America. I've been looking around and there's an awful lot of information, but I can't put it all in a 10-minute video, so here's just a sample of what I found. I found this, as you can see, it's called Salon, and this was written on June 23rd, 2019. Paternity tests are big business because women aren't trusted. It shows you that the Father's Day market in America is $16 billion per year, but paternity tests are reported to be a $3.8 billion a year industry by next year. In other words, paternity is really becoming a major headache in America, as it's getting out of control. As if you go down, it says peace of mind doesn't come for free. While the price of home paternity tests has dropped dramatically, the cost still exceeds $100 per kit. Now it's all about money. This article goes down and it says legislators in Tennessee, Kansas and New Jersey have introduced bills to make DNA testing obligatory for all newborns, which is what the guy on Manosphere Highlights Daily suggested. None have become law. That's because more women vote than guys, and politicians are terrified of pissing off the American women and being voted out of office. Now, I've also found this. Now, this is the link that the guy in the video put on his channel. It's various things more or less saying what the other side says, but this bit is interesting. Whoops. It says, studies attempting to show the percentage of men in divorce cases who challenge paternity who turn out to not be the father in America have turned up figures ranging from 25% to 30%. Even if you take a conservative estimate, there is likely somewhere between 5.3 million and 7.7 million children in America who are the victims of paternity fraud. That means 5.3 and 7.7 million American women have cheated on their spouse, husband, partner, and they passed the other guy's child off as his. Now, I found this thing. It's not much of an article. This is read. I had a look at it earlier, and if you click on that, it takes you to that, and you got to install WordPress, so I wouldn't bother if I were you. Now, it says the tidal wave of outrage on this report's findings stated that a rather simple ripple has grown bigger and bigger in the 17 years since. Now, this about when it first started. The American Association of Blood Banks, which created DNA testing labs, started in 1999. And then it gives you court cases. The first one was a singer called Neo. Never heard of him. In California. The second case was a homeless guy, also in California. And the third case was a guy called Mike L. in Pennsylvania. He decided to do the right thing, filed to end his financial obligation to his daughter since the biological father would now be in the household, because the woman that cheated on him she's got with the biological father of the child that he thought was his, and he decided to keep paying it to, he loved the girl so much he couldn't deny legal paternity and risk losing all contact with her. And what can men do to protect against paternity fraud? Well, for a start off, men can go MGTOW and don't put yourself in harm's way. If you want to have a woman's company, just pick up the phone and book an escort. In that case, she's not your girl, it's just your term, but at least you know what you're getting. And if you don't like the escort that you're with, you never need to bother with her again. And then it just gives the bottom line. Paternity fraud is real, but society and the courts are demonstrating that the very definition of fatherhood is changing. Now, it's not just in America. In Canada, the Canadian Children Rights Council, now this article was from USA Today, from December 12th, 2002. It shows you more horror stories about paternity fraud, and legislators are reshaping paternity law in Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Iowa, Ohio, and Virginia. They now permit ex-husbands and out-of-wedlock fathers to end child support through DNA. Maryland has made the same change via court decisions. And also Colorado, Illinois, wherever, and Louisiana grant relief only to ex-husbands, offering them to offer genetic proof. And Texas allows ex-husbands 4 years from birth to disprove paternity and gives unwed fathers unlimited time. But it still is not the basis making the paternity case fraud illegal and jailing the mothers and having obligatory a paternity test on all newborn babies. In Vermont, the toughest bill of all would make a mother's knowingly false allegation of fatherhood a felony that would put her behind bars for up to 2 years and fine of $5,000. That was probably what this guy in the video, YouTube, has looked up. A woman almost already knows who the father is, and if she puts down the wrong person knowingly and it's costing him money, it's just plain fraud. And it goes down and down and down. It all boils down to the governments don't want to be spending money on child support, so they go after the father. Now this is a side one article from the Scotsman. That is highlighted, I didn't do that. The 98% of women are liars honest. If you click on that, 19 out of 20 women admitted lying to their partners or husbands. A survey on attitudes to truth and relationship has found. Half said if they became pregnant by another man, in other words, he cheated, but wanted to stay with their partner, i.e. he's got more resources than the biological father, they would lie about the baby's real father. 42% would lie about contraception in order to get pregnant, no matter the wishes of their partner. That just shows how untrustworthy a lot of women can be. Now, America is not the world's leader. Nigeria is the second highest paternity fraud leader in the world. The first one I found out is Jamaica. This is an article about this poor guy, his biological father for 3 children. His wife was having an affair. She's since unfortunately, she's deceased. In other words, she died. But he thought these 3 children were his, and it turns out that she's having a long-term affair with the biological father. You can read that yourself, but it's quite sad. And of course, the feminist lobby were jumping in, and he says, paternity test anti-feminists. I'm to say, no, they're not anti-feminists at all. In the advent of modern paternity tests, Melanie McDowell of the Times of London writes, "It is astonishing that the technology became available, that feminists didn't make more of a fuss about it." Oh, really? And then it goes on about the Jude Law, that's British actor. He thought he was the father of model Samantha Burke's child. Let's see, have a look at that. No pictures. You can read that yourself. I'll naturally pull the links below. But then if you click on the comments section, these are all women and they're all laughing and think it's funny, but they can get knocked up by a guy and take a lot of his money with child support, etc. Bitches, in other words. But it all boils down to women aren't to be trusted. Now, if it does become mandatory that all babies are going to be tested to see who the biological father is, you've seen the insanity that women in America are doing it, some women, with the Roe versus Watson, I think it's that abortion law. Just think what they're going to do if they have to prove that the father of the children is the one that they're in a relationship with, and if not, they get knocked up in prison. If they want to not get in that situation, then the American women have to be more chaste. But anyway, I'm sorry this is a bit patchy, but there's so much on this topic that I couldn't cram it all into a 10-minute video, which I think I'm at the limit now. So I'll actually put all the links below so you can read these articles yourself, and the first link will be that YouTube channel that I watched that was a subject of this video from me. Right, I think we're on 10 minutes now, probably more, so you know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, it's completely up to you. But it looks like MGTOWs have got the right attitude and keeping away from women, and we can't be lumped with paternity frauds because we don't bother with unless we go with a escort, and that's just it's up to us and our wallets. Right, until next Monday, that's it, people. Bye bye.